Alrighty, hello everybody. My name is Martin Cebula. Welcome to the Industry Night Show. At this particular moment, I work as a Nordic brand ambassador for Lucas Bowls, which means that I work with beautiful products such as bowls, this baby of mine, Galliano, and also Passoa. There are some other local brands that I work with, but those are the three most important. When the whole coronavirus situation started, I decided to work on this beautiful project, the Industry Night Show. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Throughout the duration of this show, we'll be talking about our industry, about myths, anecdotes, basically you name it. We're gonna be as entertaining as you can imagine, hopefully at least. And today I have this amazing guest from Denmark, Zander Lauritzen Hansen, who is the president of the Danish Bartenders Association. Hello, Zander.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm very good. I'm very good. Thank you so much, brother. Did I introduce you properly?
It was a perfect introduction. Thank you.
Perfect introduction. That's great. That's great. So Zander also works as, correct me if I'm wrong, the marketing, if I can put it that way, marketing manager from the International Bartenders Association, which means that he's responsible for all the marketing in the association. Is that correct?
Yes, I refer to the VP of Communication Marketing, Georgia, who's actually responsible, but I help as much as I can to bring out the good word of IBA and bartending. So I love what I'm doing, and it's fun working with IBA.
Okay, Zander. So a very brief introduction from yourself. Maybe I can start actually. So I've been working in this industry for the last 13 years. Well, you can basically see that by the wrinkles on my face. Yeah, exactly.
Know what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been working in many different countries. I started in Poland. I'm actually of Polish origin. Marcin is originally a Polish name. What's funny about me is that Cebula in my language means onion. So trust me, I have been bullied in my life. You know how kids are, but hey, you challenge adversity and you get back stronger. So
now you work for Bowls. Perfect.
There you go, baby. So I started in Poland. I worked several bars. I was a flair bartender. That flair bartending is really deeply ingrained in my career and in my heart. I touched upon mixology, of course. I worked in Germany, in London for a year, and then I moved to Norway, where I actually started working for the Bowls company back in, my God, it's been a while. It must have been like 5 years now. After Norway, I moved to Sweden, Stockholm, where I live right now. I love the place. I think it's one of the most beautiful cities and one of the most beautiful people I have ever met in my life. Some of you will disagree with that. I understand. No worries. But yeah, this is basically my story. How about you, Zander?
Well, I started also early. I only know this one industry and love it all the way through. Well, basically, I started as a bartending or waiter at 16 years old. Became one of the bar managers in my home cities in the south part of Denmark. After, when I got older, mature, I traveled the world working in Scotland, Bulgaria, anywhere I could get work as a bartender. Started a few companies, sold them again, and 15 years later, I'm now here.
You're still here.
So, yeah, I'm still here, and I have the same problem as you have.
Still going strong, baby. I love how you use the word mature. So prior to this conversation, we both got really excited. It's been a few days of preparing. We created this file of questions and basically the topics that we want to touch upon. But what's funny is that I decided to start with a strong opener, and I'm like, Zander, I'm going to start with something really proper. But then instead, I decided to start with a question. Okay, So when it all started, the whole coronavirus started, I know that there has been a period in several different countries where people were trying to buy out absolutely everything from the stores. How much of the toilet paper have you bought, brother?
None, luckily. We went to fill up a few things, but I'm actually happy that I was not part of that crowd.
Okay.
But after, when they bought all, a few days later, we went to buy toilet paper, beers, all the necessaries to stay alive, of course.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. I'm guilty here actually. I have bought some paper myself. I bought some groceries as well. So basically, yes, I am one of those, if I can put it that way.
I think you're one among many, so it's fine.
All right. So today, as said in the beginning, please be interactive. Please engage with us. If you have any questions, we are here to answer those questions. But today's topics are basically our industry, and then we will debunk, we will bust, we will dispel some myths. So one of those myths is basically the UV light. Apparently, it kills coronavirus. Um, that's only partly true, but we will get to that as well. And another thing is that recently I came across this amazing article on BBC, which said that many different providers are trying to sell remedies like panaceas. And basically, let's say you buy a bottle of kombucha, you buy those pills or an oil or this or that. And apparently those remedies are supposed to boost your immunity system, your immune system. We will talk about that as well. But before that, let's start with the question about the industry and Denmark. How has it been so far in Denmark? What's the market situation right now? How are bartenders feeling? And most importantly, do you see any hope for the industry rebounding from that? When do you think that everything is going to go back to normal?
Well, I think it's actually an interesting situation we're in right now. I hope that everybody will survive, of course. I realistically, I believe that it will be, of course, difficult. The state, luckily, have provided some financial tools. Will not cover the losses, but hopefully it will cover most, so they can stay on top of it. In every bar has difficulty. I think in Copenhagen it's a bit more difficult because of it's a bit higher rent, so they have that working against them. But I think the first week was okay. Let's see what's going. Afterwards, it just went down the hill, and everything is closed. And it's not just the nightlife that's closed; it's the whole hospitality industry. But besides that, there's also the festivals. A lot of bars, bartenders, they make a lot of living during the festival seasons. We have Roskilde, Smukfest, a lot of different fairs and festivals, which is also closed until 1st of September. So it's difficult. Luckily, the state helps, and my
Zander, what's the extent of that help, and how does it work exactly? So you're basically employed, and then your employer says that a major force occurs, and then what happens after that?
Yes. So it's like, and this is on a broad term. It's not individual bar, but on a national scale. So basically, the states went in and they will pay for a larger amount of the salary. If you keep your employee, the state will cover most of the salaries. Besides that, there are different packages to apply. You can apply for your fixed income, expenses. So if you have your rent and everything, you can apply for the state to cover it. Which from what my understanding is that most of the bars are able to apply for that. And then there's additional package that you can apply for if you lost a certain amount of income, the state will give you some money. It's not a lot. It's about 23,000 Danish crowns, about 25 Swedish crowns, I think. So it's not the same as your normal income, but it's better than nothing. So
Oh, absolutely. I think that,
they're doing everything to cover the salaries as much as can, cover your fixed cost, and still give you some kind of income. It's not the same as your normal, but again, keeping the boat afloat until it's over.
Of course, of course. And if you were to apply for that package, and let's say that you're a bartender or a waiter, or you basically let's say you're a busboy, or you basically have any position within an establishment. Do you have to be associated in a union? Do you have to be a part of the union, or that applies to everybody?
It applies to everybody. In general, it's always good to be part of a union, but it applies to everybody. Regarding salary, the employee has to apply for getting the financial aid to help his employees, and it takes about 5 minutes online, where you basically just sign that you apply for this, knowing all the risk and everything. As an employee, you're more or less reliant on the employee, but they will of course do anything to keep you employed and get the financial aid. Then there are unions who have been negotiating with the state and made this deal possible. So I think in generally, on a national scale, you're secure. Of course, there are people who are unlucky, but in general, I think we're lucky to be in this part of the world.
As you said, as you used the word lucky, I think that lucky is a really important word here. I'm actually lucky. You and I are really lucky to be a part of this industry, because if I were to confess to you, when I started my career, I was sort of shy. I believed in some really bad crap, and then over time, this industry gave me so much as a human being. You can see the things that are good, how people are reacting and how they are behaving in certain situations, but you also see the stuff that is bad, of course. Now, ever since the whole corona situation started, we've been so creative with staying on top, and it's actually very, very impressive, because as both of us, we have friends all around the world, and we've been seeing the same sort of pattern everywhere, how people are struggling with the whole situation. But then again, many of them are managing to stay on top, and what they do is beautiful. What are the best things that you have seen? Like, we've seen some. Oh, you just answered the question, please.
Yeah, of course. I think it's very difficult to use Corona in a positive way, but if one were to try, I think when this is over and we will look back on what was good, what was bad, I'm extremely surprised and impressed how the industry has coped with this situation. Hospitality is a fluent industry. So something new coming all the time, regulations, trends, etc. So it's a fluent industry. For me, what's surprising is the huge amount of community feeling. We are all in the same boat. We are not competing against each other. We're in the same shit together. So you see the different supply chains, cash and carry, brand owners, bars, private consumers, all working together. Bars selling vouchers to stay ahead, companies doing virtual gin tastings and succeeding in like really booming, making online cocktail classes for hundreds of people. So I think it's very interesting to see how the bar industry went from going from home to a bar, from the bar taking it to their home. Which I think only happened because of COVID-19. If this would have happened by normal evolution, so to speak, it would have taken much more time. But thanks to COVID, bars, event companies, the whole hospitality has to really rethink their supply chain, their customer base, and how to reach the consumer.
Mm-hmm. Let's definitely focus on the good things within the whole coronavirus situation. One of the funny things that I've seen myself is the whole thingy, the whole challenge with hair. We both still have hair. There have been some challenges. Well, I'm losing a bit of hair here and there, but we both still have hair. We never trimmed it ourselves. Have you seen any of those funny challenges yourself? I've only seen the one with hair. Is there anything else that I missed?
There's a few, but most of all, it's more interesting to see how people are interacting. Like there's a flare video where people throw the ball and someone else grabs it. So there's a lot of. I think it's interesting to see how people cope with the situation. I think after I came just from a fair in Finland. When I come back, 3 weeks quarantine. After 3 weeks, I was getting crazy with myself. So I think it's interesting to see how people are coping with the situation and like what the fuck to do at home.
Right.
And there's a lot of interesting things going on. So I haven't seen the hair yet, but I have seen the what it's called staying sax papier.
So what?
Have you seen like Jägermeister where you have a stone and like I lost, drink a shot, try again.
Oh, that's so funny, actually.
I tried it this morning, and I got a paper, and I tried.
How many shots have you had?
I had to work still, so it was only like 1 or 2. But still, it was fun. I guess a movie there.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
It's fun for the people watching.
Oh my god, that is so funny. So
paper rock scissors. That's the name. Paper rock.
Yeah, paper rock scissors.
Yeah. So you have a rock, and you have these paper rock scissors. Ah, damn it!
Damn it again. Paper rock scissors. Oh shit! I'm drinking again.
You can try tomorrow with Galliano.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There you go. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So what was your approach to the whole situation? Have you started working out? Have you started working more? Have you become more efficient? Well, that's my case, at least. I became way more efficient within my line of work. Have you found, let's say, a video game that you sort of hesitated to start playing for a while, and then come the coronavirus, you started? What was the way that you entertain yourself the best way? Was it a book, maybe?
Yeah, no. I'm an alcoholic. I said workaholic.
Oh, whoa!
Busted. No, I started working in different. So both my companies are literally just shut down for the moment. There's nothing to do. So I started looking into new areas. I had to do something with Boston and Berlin. I'm still working on that house build. I started using almost all my time with the Danish Bartenders Association, the International Bartenders Association. What can be done? What could we do? Seeing the COVID shut everything down, and like that's how it is. We can't really change it. So I started using a lot of my time to online classes, live stream. What can be done? Talking to different suppliers. Could we do something? What we're doing now? How to interact with the hospitality industry and try to create some content which is useful. So basically, reaching out to all sponsors, talking to them. What can we do together? How can we create some value to the bartenders, to the bars, to make it easier for them? So a lot of reading, but more like tutorials on YouTube, how to use Zoom, how to use like all the different tools to make as much content. And like the first week, I was talking to a lot of bartenders, bar managers, like what is happening here, what to do. And basically, yeah, we need to listen to the government. I don't know more than you guys do, but trying to help as much as I can and see where it is going. So we all in this together.
We're all in this together, absolutely. So we are 21 minutes into the live stream. We've been having a strong followers base. It's been roughly 40 to 45 people all the time, which is amazing.
Hi guys.
Yeah, hello guys. So I think that the time has come to dispel some myths. I have a list of 10 myths that I'd like to tackle. So starting with the first one, very, very quickly, 5G mobile networks do not spread COVID-19. I heard some claims that 5G actually spreads the COVID-19. No, it does not. Now the second one, exposing
Like something Trump would say.
Oh, well, let's not talk about politics, brother. Please, come on.
Fair enough.
Number two, exposing yourself to the sun or to temperatures higher than 25 degrees Celsius does not prevent the coronavirus disease. It doesn't, guys. Number three, being able to hold your breath for 10 seconds or more without coughing or feeling discomfort does not mean you're free from the coronavirus or any other lung disease. Shall we try? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that was easy, man. Come on, that was.
So I'm in the shore. Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that was super
cheap
easy.
Test.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not a proper test though. Just so you know. All right. Number 4, which is very important in our industry, drinking alcohol does not protect you against coronavirus. I wouldn't necessarily.
Have you seen why, in the Russian part, sauna and alcohol should help? It sounds plausible. It doesn't help, but it's something that I could stand behind.
All right. Next one. The new coronavirus, the COVID-19, cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. That's actually a pretty good one. Regularly rinsing your nose with saline solution does not help prevent infection with the coronavirus. That's a pretty good one as well. Eating garlic doesn't help either. Antibiotics, no, they do not help. Antibiotics do not kill viruses, and they only kill bacteria and microbes. And then we're getting into the important one. Can you kill coronavirus with UV light? Now that's a really tricky one. So before I came across this article, I had no idea that there are three types exactly. Well, that's a good one actually. Whenever you talk to a person from Europe, the vast majority of them will show you 3 like this. But then in England, if I'm not mistaken, they do this, right? This. Then if you go to South America or Asia, they do this. This is the most comfortable for them.
I thought it was like this. Oh, yeah, good to know.
Yeah, right. That's a pretty cool one. Either way, UV light and the coronavirus. So there are 3 types of UV light. There is basically UVA, which makes up the vast majority of the ultraviolet radiation reaching Earth. It's capable of penetrating deep into the skin, and it's thought to be responsible for up to 80% of skin aging. UVA, the bad guy. So all those wrinkles that you see on us, this is probably UVA and smiling a lot, I guess. There is UVB next up, which can damage the DNA in our skin, leading to sunburn and even skin cancer. Both are pretty well known and can be blocked by good sunscreen, basically. But then there is the third one, the bad guy, the UVC. So UVC, and I have a quote here. UVC is basically like burning your skin alive. This relatively obscure part of the spectrum consists of a shorter, more energetic wavelength. It is particularly good at destroying genetic material. Wow, whether in humans or viral particles. Luckily, most of us are unlikely to have ever encountered any. That's because it's filtered out by ozone in the atmosphere long before it reaches our fragile skin. Now, UVC according to many sources, medical sources, indeed can kill coronavirus, but we would not recommend doing that at all, because you can get seriously well, sick. Long story short. And then the COVID-19 can boosting your immune system protect you. This is one more thing. Back in 1918, when there was this Spanish flu pandemic, that was an opportunity for many shady people to sell super peculiar remedies. One of those remedies was, for example, snake oil that was supposed to help you become immune competent. Now, right now, when you well, go through the internet, there are many remedies to the coronavirus. You know, there are some pills of different sorts. There's some liquids and all the crap in the world, basically. Now, I found this really interesting part in an article saying that so there are three ways how your body protects yourself against different bacteria and viruses. So it's airwaves, the skin, and the mucous membranes, whatever that means. When that is not enough, then we kick in the adaptive immune systems. So basically, you know, whatever you have inside the cells of the blood, they start attacking viruses. Most infections will trigger adaptive immunity eventually. But there's another way to get it going, and that's vaccination. Exposing the body to live or dead microbes can help the body to identify the real deal when it comes along. The concept of boosting a person's immune system would presumably involve making these responses more active or stronger. In actuality, you wouldn't want to do this. Take the symptoms of a cold. So let's imagine that we want to boost our immune system. Then we would have to, what would happen if someone was really boosting our immune system? We would have a runny nose, we would cough, we would basically feel really bad, we would have a fever. So this is how you can really improve your immune system, how you can boost your immune system. So all the stuff that we drink, say ginger, garlic, or whatever, it keeps you super healthy. It doesn't cause absolutely anything. So immune boosting is actually a myth. That's really interesting, because there's so many things, so many different vitamins and things like that. Did you know that, Zander?
I heard it that there is like you need to take it on a regular basis, but like it's the same like when you're sick, it doesn't work that just I'm sick now, I'm taking a lot of vitamin C. So it helps you stay on top, but that's basically it. Now you need to have your daily doses. So some of it in you, but
cool.
Good to
Let's
learn.
go. Yeah, exactly. Right. So going back to our to the conversation that we had before I started pointing out those myths. If you were to recommend all of us a book, or let's say a book that helped you the most in your career as an industry figure, what would that be?
Honestly, it's probably more a financial marketing book. I love working with marketing. So when I was studying the US, I read some book about marketing. The Financial Entrepreneur was a good book. When it comes to cocktails, the Cocktail Bible, the Codex, I would definitely recommend to read if it's within our industry.
Okay, that's cool. The book I think is the best, the book that gave me the most in my career is Liquid Intelligence by Dave Arnold. I I like ever since I bought that book, you know, this black cover with this beautiful coupette with a I don't know what's that color called, whether it's like violet or pinkish hue basically. That book is fantastic. I think that I've never read a better book on
It's now where you need a link right up here.
yeah, that's true.
Buy the book. Go on here.
And Dave Arnold, I want my money. I want my money for recommending.
Where's my share?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So marketing. What about bartending in general? What was the book that you like the most about bartending in general?
I do like bourbon. I do like American style. So I read different ones. In general, I just like the different recipes. There's a lot of the same cocktail that can have different recipes. Like the cocktail Bible was to me quite genius. There is some Danish gin books, actually newer modern, which I enjoy reading. I don't have one specific. I think they each have their own take on the history of bartending and hospitality. But if you really want to go back to the basics, it's French and American books, which really promoted like cocktail is a French word, so a lot of the French really old time books, and then everything that's prohibition style from the US is really interesting. But I don't have one specific.
Okay, no worries. Now I'm gonna ask you a loaded question, and that question is actually to all of you guys listening. So do you all think that after the whole coronavirus situation, after everything is over, do you think that we will have new ways of social interactions? Do you think that the social distancing and basically even habits such as washing hands and stuff like that, do you think that will stay, or do you think that human beings have this amazing power of adaptation or not caring, you name it, and everything is going to be gone very, very quickly after the coronavirus? What do you think?
Well, let's give it a few seconds. Like, people can interact with you on Facebook, right? You can see the conversation, can't you?
Yeah, I can.
Let's wait for, like, there's about 40 people interacting. Let's get one, like, who's brave enough to interact with us before I answer.
I see that CH definitely is brave enough to interact with us.
Oh, CH.
He just when you were talking about your marketing books, he wrote Zander and marketing, laughing out loud. Oh, hello, Tom Dyer. Tom Dyer is online. That is
hello. How's it going in the UK?
Wow, that's great, man. We are extremely proud to have you. Thank you.
I'm surprised CH is joining. He just became a daddy. I know he's a full-time employee now from his wife. So, well, congratulations from here. I think the industry is changing by definition. I think the whole industry is learning how to use social media more proactive to interact with the consumers, the customers, the guests who are coming to the bars. And also think that if the bars were to open tomorrow, I think they'll go like a month or two before we will start hugging each other and everything. I think it will last quite a long time before we are socializing on the same level as before. I think this is one of the things that will be there for a generation.
I see that. So what do you think? So you think that this is the next step for our industry in general? Because I looked into the businesses that have lost the most, but also benefited the most from the whole coronavirus situation. And obviously all the classic retailers, they have lost. All the airlines, with one exception actually. Private jets are booming. They've been growing by 25% recently, and 25% is quite a lot. All the guys who are investing in oil can tell you that 25% is a lot.
Yeah.
Now everyone who's been focusing on e-commerce within their businesses, they are the obvious winners. But do you think that the corona will change the way we deal with our customers, or let's put it properly, guests?
I think it will change. I think like when the guests come to the bar, in the beginning for I think at least 3 months time, there will be some social distancing, but I think that like what COVID-19 have shown us is that we can still interact with our guests even though they're not visiting our place physically. You see a lot of bars here doing amazing work with cocktails to go, online classes, virtual gin tasting. So you actually interact with your guests on a different level. I think it's very interesting to see that before the guest came to you, but now you're actually coming into their home. And bars who can embrace this, I think will have a huge advantage in the years to come. So I think it's very interesting to see how it's developing, and I think that how we interact with our customers will change, or our guests, sorry, will change, but in a positive way. This is a new step in our hospitality evolution. Hospitality is changing all the time. Right now, it's just more rapidly and faster than normal, but it's a fluent industry. Like every year, something is changing. It could be a new recipe or something else. So we're used to this. Now it's just working a bit faster.
Okay. Um, agreed. Um, the question I wanted to ask now is, um, how do you feel about everything? How about your work? Have you become more efficient? Are you still working with the same pace? Because some of us, we've been having issues. For example, myself, this little buddy right here. Oh my God, I'm losing so much time on it. But when the coronavirus came upon, did you change your ways of sort of being and behaving every single day, or has it been the same for you?
No, like so many others, I changed as well. I was self quarantined for 3 weeks. So like my best friend was my phone. It already were, so we have a good relationship to one another. But yeah, I was forced to work at home, and I was forced to look into new areas of business, both from a social point of view, but also my private companies. Um, Luckily, we're all in the same boat, so it was easier talking to partners, suppliers, bartenders. Like, we need to do something. We're all stuck in here. We cannot go out. What can we do? So I think actually I became more efficient, since like new ways have to be created. And I think actually that's you see that across the whole industry, that instead of just sitting on your ass and playing games, many bars, they starting thinking about new ways of interacting. So I think I'm doing the same as the others, just trying to find out like how else to survive, what can I else do to increase my reach, but also just to keep me occupied. Like the worst thing is to wake up in the morning and have nothing to do.
That's interesting. What just struck me? I had this conversation with Odd Strandbakken from Himcook maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and we talked about the ways to help the industry right now, because I know that many alcohol brands, they've been trying to help the industry in the extent possible all around the world, but there is only so much we can do. Now, I know that many of us will struggle with anxiety, will struggle with maybe even depression if we lose our jobs, or if we lose our loved ones. Now, Odd actually gave me a really, really good idea. He told me that if we were really trying to help, we should maybe think about doing some psychology sessions with bartenders, where the psychologists would talk about the notion of loss. Would you agree with that yourself?
Difficult questions. I think
that's why we're here, brother. Come on.
Yeah. I think it's a very personal question that it's up to each bartenders If it were to be done, I think it has to be one person, a psychologist talking. To some extent, I agree. But I also think what's really interesting with our industry is that everybody's talking to everybody. We're all sharing the same problems. So we're already talking to each other. But for some, it might help to have a psychologist talking. But I think it's a very personal thing to share. So I wouldn't be able to answer that question for others.
Okay, fair enough. Absolutely. No disrespect, of course. We're just trying to come up with creative ways to really contribute to the industry right now. And we know that many other brands and many other people have been really supporting to a great extent. Thank you for that. It's great that many people are giving back to the industry. So
I think there's a lot of things that, like for me, like what we're doing, hopefully now is helping. I know within in Denmark, some of the bartenders around are making this lockdown cocktails each night, and it's amazing to see that they're sharing their lockdown alcohol cocktail beer just to show like within the industry, and I think that's actually really amazing to follow.
That's nice.
And just like what we're doing also for others, that it just like content interaction, I think it helps coping with all of this, that there's still life within our industry even though it's closed. So I'm hoping what we're doing is just going to increase, and then others are doing the same, just so there's interaction all the time.
Absolutely. Speaking of what we're doing, our our time is slowly coming to an end. That's one thing. Secondly, we are having another session this coming Wednesday with presidents of all the respective bartenders associations from the Nordic countries. Hopefully, all of them will be able to join. Right now, we're still in the process of negotiating.
How much Galliano will be needed.
Yeah, exactly. What's next is basically Friday's session. During Friday, you guys will be surprised because we have something really cool for you. We're working on a very nice quiz with a beautiful prize, and whoever joins that quiz will be able to win the prize, of course. So we will shed some more light on that on Wednesday. Now,
there is a gold. There is a silver and diamond shaker on bowls.
Hey, buddy! You weren't supposed to say that.
Like 29,000 euros. I want to win that. Is that one?
Make it rain!
Nah.
Right. We will talk about that on Wednesday. Now, before we both go, if there were a message that you wanted to send to the industry right now, would you have something to say?
Stay strong. Look ahead. Like this will end. COVID is just a bump on the road. And for all the private, buy local. Support your local bar. Buy cocktails to go. Buy a voucher. Help your local industry to survive.
Yeah. Thank you, Zander. Thank you. That was
having me.
Yeah, that was perfect. I will definitely join in those wishes. I think, you know, the beauty of this industry and beauty of human beings is that after every loss, after every downfall, we come back, we overcome adversity and come back stronger. And yeah. I know that it will happen this time as well. So let's just stay strong. Let's just support each other. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to either Zander or me. And yeah, that would be it for today. Thank you so much for this amazing support. That was better, way better than I expected, actually. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you. Oh yeah, come on, man. We know each other.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course.
Next time you throw a ball of Ganino, and I will grab it from here.
Oh, I almost dropped it actually. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Zander. That was a pleasure. See you all on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Western European time or Central European time. CET, yeah, Central European time, yeah. Basically.
Skål.
Thank you so much. Skål. See you all on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Western European time or Central European time. CET, yeah, Central European time, yeah. Basically. Thank you so much. Skål.